Let's chat.
Hey everybody, this is Wander,
Morning.
Yo.
obviously, and we have with us the whole gang.
H4.
Hey,
Oh,
E3.
wait, that's something different.
Oh yeah.
That's a little off.
Yeah.
Today we're doing our official, guaranteed true E3 2018 predictions.
Yeah.
I mean, they better be.
I mean, my grandfather works at Nintendo, so we got
yeah.
all the details here.
Spoiler, I used to work at Nintendo, but then they found out about this whole thing that we do, and so they fired me.
You know, it's good for you to take one for the team, I guess.
I did
Okay.
happen to pull one leak with me while I was touring the Nintendo building. All right, get this.
Yes.
Reggie 2 debuts at this E3 conference.
Oh,
That's really exciting.
Twice as big, twice as strong, and that makes him equal to 6 Miyamotos, as you know.
Whoa.
of course.
And he's completely powered by pizza.
Huh, that's
Ooh,
a strange
wait, I can get
choice.
behind them.
That's a strange choice, but I'm
Well,
digging
actually,
it.
you can't really get behind him. He's so square and bulky, he makes the perfect goalie.
Okay, so for real this time, we're dividing our little discussion today into 3 sections, starting with specific Super Smash Bros. Talk, then more general Nintendo, and then some predictions related to third parties. So let's start with Super Smash Brothers.
I think we darn well better get a solid answer on whether or not it's a port or a new game. I think,
Yeah.
I think we're finally getting that.
I'm not sure about that.
On top of that, I'm also expecting 10 to 12 confirmed veterans and probably 3 new characters.
Okay,
That's what I'm
that all sounds pretty good. I think we're definitely gonna get an answer as to whether it's a port or not.
Well, aren't they
Yeah.
showing the tournament, the invitational?
Yeah, they're
So-
also doing the tournament.
We'll actually see what the game is. So.
Yeah.
Saps, you were joking when you counterpost, right?
yeah, I was joking.
Okay.
The tournament is happening the evening after the presentation, so we're gonna get the digital presentation, some treehouse footage, and then the tournament in the evening. Yeah, Ark, I think your prediction of like around a dozen veterans and 3 newcomers is pretty spot on to what I think.
Yeah, because that's about what's happened most of the time since they started doing this. whole
Right.
thing.
But what's
Yeah.
different? What's different this time around, though, is the fact that we know nothing about the game and it's coming out this year, and E3 is pretty much the spot where we're going to find out everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
things
it's
could be
gonna be
different. I expect your prediction pretty spot on, but things could potentially be different this time around.
Just because of the fact that it's so short time between the E3 and the game actually being released, I think we'll see more veterans than you assume, but newcomers, I think you are in the right area.
You think we're gonna get more than I just expected?
More veterans, but about the same number of newcomers.
All right, that's also fair.
One thing that I do think is definitely going to happen, and it's just a prediction on my end, but I think that we're going to see the dojo go up during the E3 conference.
Oh my God! You, how much work do you want them to put into that? That's so much effort. That's so much effort.
But
Ah.
it's become a tradition at this point, and I think there is some fun on the part of the development crew coming up with what they're going to tease. And I can't think of any better way to get all that information to us before the game actually comes out, other than daily releases.
Okay, and I actually like that because now, this time, instead of having to do a daily update for like a year and a half, it's only going to be for a few months because it's coming out this year.
True.
So they could very reasonably do that.
Unless it gets delayed. But Smash never gets delayed.
No, only when Sonic shows up. Ryu, do you think that this... You said dojo, so do you think this will be like a website that they'll put up with daily updates, or something more like the Miiverse pick of the day, even though Miiverse doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, there's no Vverse. It's gonna be Super Smash Bros. Or SmashBros.com, whatever the URL is. Right after the conference, they're gonna say, and the dojo is up right now, and you'll be able to see it.
Oh, and they'll have like screenshots and info on each character that they've shown. Okay, I like that.
I'm not sure about daily uploads, but I can see weekly at least.
Well, I could
Yeah.
see daily uploads if they stuck to important things, like not dissing some of the stuff that the old dojos used to do when they had like months and months of daily updates, but sometimes it would just be like a picture of Palutena standing next to Wario, and it's like, LOL.
Oh, they've got Lava Pet in this one. Gamersaps, if they did go weekly, then they would only be able to do maybe 20 updates before the game actually came out.
That is fair. I think maybe I just think when the dojo thing would be, it would be more major stuff than we have seen in the previous dojos.
Yeah, it would be like a much more condensed version of what they used to do.
So my prediction, might be kind of a big one. The more I think about this, the more possible or likely it seems that when Smash Bros. Launches later this year, whether it's September or November or whenever that is, it's going to be relatively small at launch. And they're going to update it regularly through free updates and DLC. And the reason I really am drawn to this idea is because that means that when the game launches, they're not done making big, exciting announcements. They can keep announcing new characters even after the game is out and have fun trailers and special direct things. And it's not just where we have like a few DLC characters. Like they can do that, whenever, like every month there's a new character that they announce. Or
I've got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that they'd be dished out one character at a time, or do you think they'd come in bundles?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of how Splatoon does their updates. Do they do it mostly in big bundles?
Depends. They do it in. It depends on what they actually release. If there's a new stage, it's only the new stage. If it's a new weapon, it's only the weapon. But then there are the big updates with like a lot of costumes, maybe a stage or two, and a couple weapons.
Do they generally release like one weapon at a time?
Yeah, generally it's one weapon at a time.
But I think it's a bit more comparable to ARMS.
Yeah.
ARMS just releases one character with an update that comes with a stage, and
a couple arms.
maybe a new game mode gets added.
Yeah, I was also thinking kind of what Overwatch does, where they'll have like every couple of months they'll have an event with a bunch of cosmetics and stuff, and in between those they'll have like a new stage or a new character or a new game mode. So that way there's like something big each month and maybe like a little bit of smaller updates in between.
My next question for you is: how long do you think the Smash season lasts? Do you think it goes on for like a year or two, or do you think it like goes until the Switch ends, or is it just like maybe a 1 year?
How long do they support it?
Yeah.
I was thinking probably at least a year or two. That's more what I was thinking. If it gets super successful and people don't stop playing it, then they might support it longer.
It's hard for me to make a call on that without knowing exactly what scale of a game we're talking about here.
Yeah.
It's not, like the reason that I kind of started this conversation with the confirmation of whether it's a port or a new game is just because that's such a major difference.
It really is.
That's really huge. I don't know what to expect anymore.
Yeah, I'm going in assuming it's a new game, and this would also give them the ability to get the game out quicker. So if they only have like a year or two of development time, then they'll be able to release it this year and just keep working on it even after it's already out and making money.
I also wonder how they will keep it profitable in the long term, though, because it is in the beginning of the Switch lifetime compared to Wii U, where it was released like midway through it. So I feel like they could expand on it, like having more focus on Smash in the long run compared to the Wii U, where did Wii U get DLC for like the coming year or two, or was it a smaller degree than that?
3DS Wii U, it was I think a full 2 years of updates. And that includes like Mii costumes and stuff. Bayonetta was the last thing that came out, and that was like a year and a half after the game came out.
Yeah, I do think that Switch will have support for longer just because it's so recent into the lifetime of the console, and it's so much bigger sales-wise than the Wii U.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, to summarize, for me the big difference is with 3DS Wii U, they made the full game and then started to think about DLC. I think this time around they're gonna plan updates from the beginning, including free updates and like paid DLC.
With free updates, I could see it go really well, but if all of it, if it's a kind of bare bones in the start and having a lot of paid DLC, I could see that not being received very well.
Yeah, that would be.
Well, the biggest thing that I've really done is I've kind of been looking at the Smash reveal trailer, and there's that image where there's all of the characters silhouetted against the like flaming Smash symbol, and I think that we might get to see a fully like detailed version of that image.
Ooh.
And that those would be the characters that are initially revealed.
Roughly 10 to 12.
Yeah, and I mean there's a few in here that are pretty obvious. Like I can see, aside from Mario and Link, which are immediately focused on, yeah, Donkey Kong's there on the left. I can see Samus there sort of in the middle with her big old pauldron shoulders. Bowser's to the right a little bit. Then I see some rounder figures, which I'm going to assume is either Kirby or Jigglypuff. I see a character that, in my opinion, kind of looks like Marth. So I think those are most of the evergreen characters.
Yeah, some people see like Pikachu and Pit and Yoshi, who are also like obviously going to come back, probably revealed in the first trailer.
Yeah, so I think it would be cool if we got like an extended version of this trailer during E3.
Oh, so like it shows the silhouette and then the light changes and you can actually see them in detail.
Yes, and then it would go through like maybe a little demo of seeing these characters in action now that they've been revealed.
I still think that the previous reveal trailer was so odd compared to all the other ones.
Well, yeah, I mean you mean the Splatoon trailer.
Yeah, the Splatoon trailer with the Inkling showing up, and instead of introducing Inklings into Smash, they introduced kind of Smash to the Inklings. It's just a weird trailer overall. It feels so much more ominous than all the other ones.
Yeah, and I think that's because Smash hadn't been announced yet. Like, the game itself had not been announced yet. So this was a way to show that not only are we bringing these characters into the game, but that this game is coming out.
Yeah,
You want to give you a little heart attack as well.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they really, when we did our port versus new game episode in episode 1, we mostly landed on the idea that it would be a new game, but it would kind of use the engine of Smash 4 and reuse a lot of the assets. And if that were the case, you'd think they would want to get all their veterans out of the way, because what's really so exciting about an unchanged character from the last time around?
That is fair. I just think they might be polished up more to be more presentable.
Do you guys recall last time around, the first two announcements were for Villager and for Mega Man, and then a few hours went by and the presentation had already ended, and then I think they posted a picture of Wii Fit Trainer on Miiverse?
Yeah.
They showed a trailer at their booth and then posted it on preview.
But like nobody heard about it. Like everybody was talking about everything else. It was such a minor scale thing. Probably because they didn't think it would be that exciting of a reveal. But I don't know. Do you guys think that they would do that again? Do you think that we should be? Do you think that even after the presentation's over, we should be like scouring the internet looking for them talking about stuff?
Like they had their own like separate presentation where they revealed Pac-Man, and then we didn't see the trailer until after they announced it on Twitter. So they might do that again. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems very likely.
Please don't. Please announce everything at the same time. Please.
But you gotta keep the hype, man.
I don't want to have to get like text tone alerts every time Nintendo opens their mouth. Like, oh, Reggie's sneezed! Uh-oh.
That's how it felt, man. That's how it fucking felt, man.
I distinctly remember posting like a screen cap of the tweet where they announced Pac-Man, and like half the comments were, "Oh, this is fake. This isn't real. Hang on a sec. I think this is real. Wait, this is actually what?"
I think we'll get the return of a loving mode that everyone wants to come back really much, especially Falshane, and that is Smash Tour.
You think that they're gonna announce that during E3?
I think it will be just like if they had any extra game modes, it will just be like on the sideline. Hey, there's Smash the Targets. There's this, there's that. Unless they do something really big with like revamping classic mode, or actually do something with an adventure mode, or Subspace Emissary.
Or yeah, E3. Well, I just think that they are gonna show us characters, and then they're gonna show us the battling, and then that's gonna be what they want to focus on. They just want to make sure everybody's kind of excited about that. And then they'll probably get to more minor stuff, like Rhea says, if they do like some sort of mini update sort of thing system. I don't know. I think we'll hear it eventually, but probably not just yet.
For E3, they'll just focus on versus mode, and then maybe a couple weeks later they'll say, "Hey, here's adventure mode. Here's home run contest."
Yeah.
What if they make a new final boss a la Swarm, Taboo, and all those, and try to have just some ominous insinuation about that character existing?
Oh, just like have a little teaser of ominous music and darkness and glowy eyes or whatever.
What's gonna happen is that if they do that, then we see a little bit of Ridley's wing, and everyone goes, "Oh, Ridley's playable! Ridley's playable! Ridley's playable! Ridley's playable!" And then we're disappointed when we find out that it's just a boss.
Yeah, they're like 2 months later. We find out he's
Actually, if they confirmed that on day one, I would thank them. I really would. Because goddamn.
No, they won't confirm it. They'll have like a little teaser of Ridley, and then 2 months later say that he's a boss.
It was the worst way. It was the meanest way they could have possibly handled Ridley last time. I was a sad man, everybody. I really was.
I didn't have this thought until later, which sucks because it's going back to my first point about the dojo's return. But it occurs to me that with the way things are in 2018, they might just want to make them Twitter updates. And you'd still
have no
you'd
problem
still
with
need
that.
a website to like host all like the game images, promotional images and stuff. But
Hey, Challenge Bot, how you doing, buddy? You want to come back to the team? Yeah.
Twitter seems like a great replacement for Miiverse.
Yeah, probably just a new Twitter account or something.
Nintendo games that are not Smash Brothers. Believe it or not, they exist. Any predictions for what Nintendo might talk about or announce at E3?
First look at Metroid Prime 4. Definitely.
My,
I'm calling it.
That actually is similar to one of my predictions, which is no Metroid Prime 4 this year.
Well, let's fight.
Fight.
Let's
Similar,
fight about
but
it.
completely
Fight. Let's settle in this match.
All right, you go first.
I don't know. I just think that the timing's good. It's been about a year since they talked about it, and they haven't revealed a thing. So just not a lot. Just a trailer. That's really.
Think it'll
all
be
I'm expecting.
gameplay or pre-rendered?
Hard to say. Really hard to say, but probably pre-rendered. Probably.
Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me if they took like a cutscene from the game and just posted it. That would be fine too.
So my thought on that is, I think we don't see Metroid Prime 4. I think it's a little too early, because that game might come out next year and might come out even later than that. I honestly think that could come out in 2020.
Metroid Prime 4 years from now.
Yes. And like they've had games skip E3s before. Like I remember not Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, that one.
Mm-hmm.
They announced it and then it skipped the next year, and then the year after that it was the only game they showed. So I think they could do something like that where we don't see it this year and then next year it's a big focus.
Chat, do you think? Oh, there's no chat. God damn it. YouTube comments. Do you think that we're gonna see Metroid Prime 4? Let me know.
Well, the Twitch premiere will see this.
Yes, that chat. Let me know, but I won't know. But I might be in the chat with you. So if I am, then tell him. Great.
Well, I've got so many that I'd be worried that if I just went through them all, that I'd steal all of your guys' answers.
We'll just do one.
Don't worry about that.
One? Just one?
We'll circle back. We'll circle back around.
Give me two. I think we'll see no new major titles on the 3DS this year.
Wow.
I think that the system will still be supported by Nintendo and still get some games, but there'll be no first-party exclusives.
You think they're trading up soon, don't you? Huh? Huh?
I do kind of disagree with that, mainly because Mario and Luigi.
Oh, yeah, you know what? They are doing the Mario and Luigi, but that could also be easily put on the Switch instead.
I'm thinking like the stuff they just announced, and a lot of it is ports and cross-platform stuff, but nothing like new, big, original, only on 3DS.
Yeah, because I mean, they just announced that there's a Luigi's Mansion coming for it, and like you said, Mario and Luigi.
Wait, what?
No, sorry, they're re-releasing the old Luigi's Mansion for 3DS. But I don't think that we're going to see anything that isn't some sort of port or remake of some kind that is first party and exclusive for 3DS.
Yeah, I think the fact that they just announced that the next, generations of Pokemon are going to be on Switch kind of like rings the death knell for the 3DS, since it's no longer getting Pokemon.
Well, that's a good transition into the second topic. So let's talk about the Dawn fan in the room. There was that trailer just a little bit ago. I think it was last week, maybe this week. I can't keep track of time. The point is that we got first look at Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
And Pokemon Quests.
And Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee on Nintendo Switch. The fact that this is what we're getting first on Switch and that it was just announced and just revealed could be an indicator that we won't see any sort of Pokemon next generation news. But on the other hand, the fact that they blew their load before E3 could mean that they're actually saving the bigger Pokemon stuff for E3 itself.
I do actually see there was a Q&A the other day with developers of Game Freak, and this is what they said. Game Freak officially stated that the core games will come in two supplements for the future. Games like this for the newer crowd and your typical Pokemon game for hardcore fans. The 2019 release is geared for hardcore fans. This is targeted to introduce new players into the franchise, adapting some familiarity with the ever-successful Pokemon Go. So this year is supposed to bridge the gap between Pokemon Go players and Pokemon core player gamers. And next year, we're going to get the actual next generation game from at least this Q&A session they had.
So do you think that they'll talk about that
No,
at E3? Or
I doubt it.
Well, at the very least, we can find out what that surprise Pokemon is that they teased at the end of the Let's Go Pikachu trailer.
It's probably gonna be
That's
that
fair.
electric Lucario Pokemon they just released.
No, this is an entirely new Pokemon. We already know about the electric Lucario.
I mean, it's quote unquote entirely new. It hasn't been in a game yet.
I believe they said it's going to be a code-called 8-gen Pokemon.
You think
Oh.
he's the bridging the gap Pokemon that they tease early, like Munchlax and Lucario and Togepi and such?
I don't remember the dumb thing's name. It's like Zeraroar or some dumb like that.
But I still believe that is not supposed to be the bridge, but actually supposed to be a legendary.
Doesn't it
Yeah,
feel a little
I-
late in the Ultra Sun and Moon's life cycle to be throwing in a new legendary?
It was, but wasn't it about 2 months ago when it was announced or something?
Zeraora, that's the thing's name.
We might see Let's Go on like the Treehouse live stream, but I don't think we're going to get much big news in the presentation itself. We're definitely going to see Yoshi. We're going to get a release date and a full title.
Yeah.
And it will either get just the barest, briefest of mentions, because they've already shown it off a lot. Like, I'll just say, here's Yoshi, here's like a new feature, it's coming out here, it's titled, there you go, let's move on. Either that, or it's going to get entirely way too much screen time. We're going to spend like 5 minutes talking about Yoshi. So it's going to be one of those two extremes.
I believe he still doesn't know much about the new Yoshi game, except for it's Yarn Yoshi.
It's not Yarn Yoshi.
Oh, wait, it wasn't Yarn Yoshi?
No,
Am I
it's
thinking
not
of a
like
different
a Yarn Yoshi thing. It's like made of craft materials, but Yoshi himself is not made of yarn. That's kind of a small topic. I mean, obviously we're going to see a little bit more of it, but probably not much. Falshane, you got a game you want to talk about? Perhaps one of your...
one? Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Well, I'm gonna, since it seems like talking about two, I'm gonna start with one that nobody probably thought I was gonna talk about, which was Animal Crossing for the Switch.
Oh.
Ah,
Woohoo!
I mean,
Animal Crossing is a huge franchise for Nintendo. People love it, and I think that with the iteration of what was it called, Campsite or whatever, Pocket Camp, that's it. That was their sort of like leeway into like, yes, we are still developing new ideas for Animal Crossing. We haven't like kind of shoved it into the corner to let people forget about it. And getting a fully rendered, like new actual Animal Crossing game for the Switch where you play it and you can make towns and cities, and being able to like ad hoc with people and jump into their city if you're like sitting next to them or something. I think that would be cool. Like somebody could bring their Switch to your house and you could like just jump into their game and both of you could like play in the same town together.
Sort of like mixing console and handheld mechanics.
Yeah.
I approve.
So I think that would be cool. Also, with the ability for like the Switch to be able to tell what time it is in like real time and stuff, you could have events that would be able to take your Switch to a Nintendo store on like a certain date and time, and you could get a new villager to come to your city or something. So I think that would be neat.
Animal Crossing Go.
Well,
Animal Crossing, let's go, Tom, let's go, KK.
Isabel, come on.
Okay, fine.
fun fact.
Let's go, Timmy. Let's go, Tommy.
Just to jump back on the Pokemon thing real quick. Apparently the hashtag name for this generation is Peekaboo, as named by the Japanese fan base. So if you're interested in knowing what hashtag to look for, it's Peekaboo. Anyway, yeah, the second one that I'm going to talk about obviously is Fire Emblem Warriors.
Of
Well, hang
Whatever.
on. I wasn't done with Animal Crossing. Actually, like a couple E3s ago, we were so unsure whether or not there was going to be the Wii U release yet that we had a whole bet comic about it that never
Oh.
amounted to anything. And
Oops.
guess what? The Wii U game never came. And
Well,
that
it
was the only
did.
that was the only option that we hadn't considered. There just wouldn't be one.
That was the one that I considered. I was the bad guy in that comic. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it is inevitable that we're getting an Animal Crossing for Switch. They've updated their website. It's got some openings for a new game to be announced. It's been so long since New Leaf, and we've had her fill of spin-offs. they have got to put one on Switch, and I guess now's the time to reveal it.
Yeah, I think
get
it's
the
pretty
feeling
inevitable, but I'm not sure if it comes out this year, but I think we hear about it pretty soon.
I get the feeling that Animal Crossing was one of the other games on Ryu's list.
Uh-huh.
There was another one on mine too.
I can promise that once that comes out on Switch, I will learn how to stream from my Switch, because I need to stream Animal Crossing.
He needs to
Everybody's
cross
gonna
some
wanna stream
animals.
that, but yeah, definitely go for it.
Anyway, yeah, the second one that I'm going to talk about obviously is Fire Emblem Warriors.
Oh.
or Fire Emblem. Yeah, the only thing, and I'll leave Saps some talking points. So all that I'm going to say is, I believe that we are going to see at least an initial trailer for whatever the new Fire Emblem Switch game is going to be. My only prediction that I'm going to say, so that I can give Saps enough time to talk, is that it will be a standard Fire Emblem game a la Fire Emblem Valencia Oranges. Maybe some new mechanics, but I'll leave Saps some talking points on that. My point here is, yes, there will be at least a trailer for Fire Emblem Switch. That's all I really need.
Well, since you let me to speak on this matter too, thank you very much.
Saps, you look like you have something to say. Do you?
Well, I have
Bunch
a
of
couple things
nerds.
to say.
Oh, he missed the reference.
Well, I do think we will get more than just a trailer. I think that will be one of the things I could get like a 5 minute talking point about it.
Mhm.
And I do also see my money returning mechanics being presented there. Like I remember Middle's Turnville being really popular in the Valentia game, and a lot of people want that to return.
For some reason.
I like it. It lets you not reset the entire game.
Yeah, otherwise known as cheating.
Yeah, again, we know so little about it, but it comes out this year. It is inevitable to know about or to hear about it. I have been the guy that said every every Nintendo Direct for the last year, we're gonna hear something about Fire Emblem. And if we
Say it
don't hear
every
about
time,
it,
you'll be right eventually.
yeah, that's true. But if you don't hear about it now, I'm just gonna give up.
Well, on the inverse side of that, I think I'm gonna throw in the possibility of a minor scale Zelda title, like perhaps a spin-off, or well, I was gonna say something on the handheld, but now you guys have me thinking that maybe that's not so likely. But perhaps, I don't know, if they had thoughts on a new handheld system, perhaps they could do it for that. That'd be interesting. But
it's called the Switch.
okay, yeah, fair enough. But either way, I think it's too soon for a big Zelda announcement, but maybe a small one.
You know what would probably make a lot of money from the Zelda angle, but when Nintendo would never do it? HD ports of the CDI titles.
Damn it. You had me at HD ports. You lost me at CDI.
Yeah, but imagine how many people, just for the sheer joke of it, I know I would buy all three of those games just to have HD remakes of those terrible games.
I'd do it.
I agree with Arg. It's definitely too soon for a new big like Breath of the Wild size game, but I think maybe a 2D game or a some other kind of spin-off, like a remake maybe.
The Heroes, what was it called? The
Triforce Heroes?
Yeah.
I love
maybe
that. Like a multiplayer type game.
Yeah, didn't they do that with Four Sword, where it was originally a GBA game, then it became a GameCube game?
Yeah,
Yes.
the GameCube game was a sequel.
Yeah, so it'd be cool if there was a sequel to Triforce Heroes on the Switch.
Okay, yeah.
No, I've got it. I know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Link's Crossbow Assault.
Can he really
Beautiful.
use those waggle controls on the
Dude, the
What if they
Joy-Con?
made it Link's Blow Dart Challenge, and you have to actually use the sandwich button on your?
The sandwich.
Jesus.
So with the HD Rumble, you can feel the crossbow loading and shooting, firing from your hand.
Place your lips upon the Joy-Con and blow gently.
I mean, it doesn't have a microphone, but it can tell through its IR camera. No, they release a new Joy-Con with a microphone just for this.
You specifically have to buy it, like that freaking what was it? The enhanced Wiimote control that you had to buy for Skyward Sword.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Pikmin.
Ooh, Pikmin 4.
Yay!
Yeah, that's supposed to happen, right?
Pikmin
They
Prime
did
4.
actually. I forgot that they said that they were actually doing something with that. Didn't
Yeah.
they?
Do we know
Yeah.
for certain that Pikmin 4 was not Hey Pikmin?
Yes, we do. It was announced that this was not the main series Pikmin 4 that we were promised.
Okay.
I'm glad that you're confident about that.
No, they said it. Nintendo said it with their mouths.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All of
Alright, so
Nintendo.
That
said
was all
it
I had to say about it,
simultaneously.
actually.
They all held hands, stood outside around the Nintendo headquarters, and chanted. Hey, you Pikmin is not Pikmin 4.
Oh, that's my favorite song from Pikmin
Aw.
4.
And then they sang Aono Uta, and
Yeah.
Reggie 2 was finally summoned.
That's how it happened.
I love
Can
Ryu's
confirm.
like AU of the Nintendo like company.
Yeah, follow my Twitter for more headcanons about the Nintendo staff.
I mean, the Pikmin games are pretty standard across the board, right? They're like real-time strategy games where you get these little creatures to pick stuff up and beat stuff up. And I think
think-
that
Each time they add another character you can play as.
like a new Pikmin type and
And a
stuff
new
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the core games ever really changed and probably won't.
Well, the biggest jump that came with Pikmin, the gameplay actually does change a lot between the games, but the biggest thing added by Pikmin 3 was your Wii U gamepad, allowing you to do things like multitasking and getting different views of the situation. And I don't know how the Nintendo Switch can really carry on that legacy, so they might have to go a completely different direction.
One thing that I really want to see Pikmin do is being able to play at night. I actually think we talked about this when we talked about Pikmin stages in Smash, but I want there to be a mode, like a survival mode, where you're on the planet at night and you just have to like not get eaten.
Like
Oh,
a
that'd
tower
be-
defense kind of game.
That'd be a great like story mode twist, like spoilers for Pikmin 3, the scene when Louis steals all your fruit and you have to you run completely out of fruit and have to quickly try to find some more. It'd be a great
Yeah.
twist that you're just like your ship goes down and you have to try to survive at night.
Yeah, I think using it as a sort of tower defense RTS mix of gameplay, that would be a really fun angle to do that.
Better multiplayer could be something that they
Oh, yeah.
advertise it with.
Maybe
Wait, it has multiplayer?
Yeah, not very good. It's just a basically challenge versus mode. And I
Maybe-
wouldn't recommend it.
online multiplayer, perhaps story mode co-op, please.
You guys
E3?
remember the You
E3?
guys remember the Pikmin thing from Nintendo Land? Because that's I wouldn't mind something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Although I wouldn't want people to be playing as the Pikmin that I'm controlling. I would just want them to be another captain. That would be just fine.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay, I think we're ready to move on to Ryu again.
All right.
So the ones that I didn't get to, first of all, do we think there's going to be any new mobile games announced this time around?
Oh,
I think it's weird that
forgot.
they built up this that the mobile games were coming and then they released 3 or 4 of them and discontinued one of them.
Yeah, I
Isn't
completely
there-
forgot about mobile.
Wasn't there talk about the Mario Kart on mobile or
Yes,
something?
Mario Kart Tour. It has been announced. We've seen a logo, and we know nothing else.
That's more we can say that about Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
I was expecting some sort of wave of mobile games coming eventually, where we'd see maybe 10 of them. But
that's honestly a really good thought. I'm mad I didn't think about mobile, but yeah, Mario Kart Tour. I think they've mentioned that they're working on a Zelda game on mobile. That could
Oh,
be
yeah.
the Zelda spin-off that Ark and I were talking about
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
on mobile.
sure could be.
Kirby.
yeah,
Maybe could work.
I'd like to see them sort of revive some of their touch generation stuff on mobile, like Nintendogs or Rhythm Heaven.
Oh,
or
that
WarioWare.
makes sense.
WarioWare.
WarioWare.
Yes.
WarioWare Mobile. Are you kidding me? I could sit on the
That
toilet
would
and work
be
and
great.
play micro games.
That would be
Yeah.
the best and the worst. I'd never get anything done ever again.
Pick his nose with your actual finger.
Who could resist that?
In it goes.
Eh?
All right. Oh, shoot. I thought of something, but our next topic will be discussing some rumors and possible leaks. So if you're not interested in listening to that, you want to be fully surprised when the show comes around, assuming these are real, then mute now and we'll give you a little message on screen to unmute later.
Question.
Oh, question?
What games are we talking about here?
Well, I was going to say that.
Question: what are you talking about?
Well, wait and see. So there has been this rumor going around. It was around the same time as the Let's Go Pikachu Eevee rumors about a new Star Fox spin-off game coming, I think, early next year. It's allegedly being developed by Retro Studios and is a racing game, sort of in the vein of Diddy Kong Racing or F-Zero, but with Star Fox characters. Have anybody heard? Has any of the rest of you heard about this?
Yes.
Nope.
I have not.
Well, we haven't said it yet. The title of this alleged game is Star Fox Grand Prix.
That sounds a bit basic.
Right. I have heard about this.
Well, I'm usually skeptical about these sort of things. I try to avoid them even, but I have looked into this one, and I think it seems pretty credible.
Yeah. Like, this is also the sort of thing that I normally wouldn't give it much flack, but something about this just feels right. Like, yeah, this seems like the kind of thing they would do. I don't know. It's just... I don't think they're ready to do a new core Star Fox game yet, but if they've been working on a spin-off for a while, and like some of the ideas around this seem pretty interesting. Like having a racing game with shooting mechanics, so if you shoot targets to get bonuses, and having different vehicles available like the Landmaster and R-Wing and Blue Marine, plus transformations, it just seems like it makes sense for the series.
Yeah, it'd be a great way to carry on some F-Zero DNA and also branch out of the Mario Kart realm, because Mario Kart's kind of limited to what it is. This we can actually take to the skies. We could use blasters, all sorts of different mechanics. And it would also just be a great way to see more Star Fox characters actually in the spotlight.
Oh yeah.
Wait. We had a Star Fox character in F-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could this be a F-Zero character in Star Fox?
A furry
Pico's
Douglas.
time to shine.
Captain Falcon, but he's actually a falcon.
Oh! There it is! Calling it.
But I kind of found it funny and a little sad that after Mario Kart 8 kind of cannibalized F-Zero, here comes Star Fox to pick at the bones.
Yes! That was about the first thing I thought when I just heard you guys talk about it.
It's the Marowak of racing games from Nintendo.
What does that mean?
It's carrying its mother's skull with it, pointed in your direction.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh god.
All right, so that's... I think that's... Any other comments on Star Fox?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so I wanted to bring that up because I knew it's something that people would probably expect us to talk about.
But I just wanted to chime in while we're already talking about leaks and supposed stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because Splatoon just had a huge data mine from what I could tell. I have not looked up to see what it is yet, but it's supposed to be announced on the 9th.
The 9th? What day is that?
Which is a couple days before E3.
Oh, like a pre-E3 announcement. I could see them announcing, like, updates or to something to an existing game before the big show. But that actually reminds me of another one of my predictions that, if you're okay with me saying it.
Oh, yeah.
DLC for Mario Odyssey.
Also one of mine.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a big one. They're going to announce some new kingdoms. So they've been updating it with costumes pretty regularly, but they don't actually add much to the gameplay. I think now they announce, oh, hey, we have like 3 new kingdoms. Here's like a Ghost House Kingdom and Isle Delfino
Star Kingdom.
Star Kingdom? Oh, like challenge mode?
Yes.
Like, I'm thinking like the Star or Crown worlds from 3D World.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be rewarding on its own for any player just to go and explore new kingdoms in Mario Odyssey, especially if they got something really like fan servicey like Delfino or like Luigi's Mansion or something. But if we're following the pattern laid before us by Breath of the Wild, we'd want some sort of reward for having gone through and collected all those new moons. I don't know what the motorcycle is for Mario Odyssey,
I think it's a
Right.
Yoshi or Luigi. No, it's like it looks like Yoshi, but it's a motorcycle.
Yeah, so I think that there, in addition to announcing a new kingdom or many, you'd have some sort of new addition to gameplay added as a reward for completing it.
I think playable Luigi would be a pretty good shot in the arm. Sorry, that's
What does that make? What does that make Luigi with the balloons in the bow tie?
just another Luigi. We know that there are 2 Luigis in the universe from Mario Galaxy.
I see.
The only other thing that I can think of that might be revealed or released during E3, and it might even be one of those things where they're like, "It's out now, go get it," would be the N64 Classic.
Oh.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
so that's I mean, I have my SNES Classic still in its box, sitting there, pristine, untouched, because that's the kind of loser I am.
Same.
And I know that I'm one of the many people who didn't get one of the only like 20,000 NES classics that they made. So it would be really neat if this were announced. And I know that they were also talking about releasing another production of the NES Classic, so maybe some more information about that.
Okay. I actually had N64 Classic on my list. And I'm sure we could talk a whole bunch about games, but if we talk about what games would be on the N64 Classic,
That would be a conversation unto itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll save that. But I think
Saps, Arc, Jay, got anything before it comes back to me?
Wow, were you
Amiibo.
eager to talk?
Amiibo,
Oh.
yeah, sure. Oh shoot, a new Smash is coming.
Yes.
Amiibo.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Are they? Yeah, I'd say okay. That's fair. I'd wonder if Nintendo would still want to be back in the Amiibo horse after all these years. But they are continuing to release new Amiibos, and it's a great way to promote new games. And Smash is kind of what started the Amiibo craze. So this would be a great time to announce new Amiibos.
So what would the Amiibos be? Would it just be the updated versions of the Smash characters?
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. I just feel like it would be. I feel like it would be pretty much the same product. I don't know. Maybe they'd be able to work something new into it, but I almost feel like if they were to make another new set of Smash Amiibos, then they would need to give them a little something. I don't know.
My worry would be functionality, because functionally in the last Super Smash Brothers, Amiibo sucked.
They were a fun thing, but
It was a neat gimmick, but then I actually tried it and found that the gimmick didn't do anything.
it killed you fast.
Yeah, I agree. If you're gonna bring back Amiibo, then do something more with it.
My next major prediction, actually my last major prediction,
Okay.
I think now is finally the time that we're going to see some non-gaming related reveals from Nintendo. I'm talking about movies and theme parks.
Oh. Movies and theme parks.
Right, because we know that there is a live-action Detective Pikachu starring Ryan Reynolds being written by Alex Hirsch, among others, in the works, and we don't really know much about that, which is bonkers. And we've also got a Super Mario movie that is being produced by Illumination. So we've got to start seeing some concept art or trailers or teasers, in the very least, for that.
Yeah, and you think they'll show that at E3?
Yeah, I do. I think we'll get a
Okay.
tease for that at E3. I think
Okay.
that it's Nintendo. It's big Nintendo news. It's their new
It
markets
is.
they're getting into.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'd be down to see more of that.
And other than movies, they've got a Universal Studios theme park in the works. And if we could get like a general trailer of that of some sort, that'd be a great way to hold people over.
Well, I like that. There's some good predictions there.
One more Nintendo-related thing to say, and I just thought of this now. Labo came out, pretty good success, but it was kind of a small, quiet release. And I think since they have so much potential left over with Labo, they would want to add a new game with it and some new cardboards.
I don't think E3 is the right market or the right audience for Labo. Because Labo is
Yeah.
definitely geared more towards young and casual, whereas E3 is about more the older audience, the hardcore audience. So maybe,
can
but
agree
I
with
don't
that.
see it happening at E3. Maybe in a direct down the line. All right, I have a couple of other quick ones. One, I think between everything else, this one might not happen. I've heard some more likely things, but Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh,
I could see it, but I don't think yet.
Now with Super Mario Brothers 2 and Super Mario Land themes.
I think it's more likely that they just port it.
Yeah,
Unless they already did. They already do that?
for
For the
Super Mario.
3DS.
3DS,
Yeah.
not Switch.
I think that's just my thought.
And the 3DS version, by the way, did not have online, which
Yeah, that was.
a huge disappointment, and I don't think they'd make
Wait,
that mistake
what?
again.
Yeah, they did a
Weird.
bad.
They made Mario Maker without the internet option?
Right. You,
What were you
in order
supposed
to, you'd
to
have to
do?
actually see your friend in person to trade maps with them.
That's like the video game.
It's like the whole game you don't have.
It really is.
Yeah.
By
I have
going
one more
through-
quick one.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
ARMS.
ARMS.
What about it?
That's already out.
Well, I think more information or more DLC in ARMS, maybe just
Oh,
more
okay.
characters, stages, etc. Just a little like, hey, ARMS got this new character and this new stage, but who is that? Ooh.
So they'll spend like a minute on it. Just here's some DLC. Okay. I just want to quickly go through with what I think this year's release schedule will be. So I think we're going to get Yoshi in like August. That seems like a summer title to me. I was resistant to this at first, but I think Smash Bros. Will come out in September with the online service, which I just realized we haven't talked about at all. Yeah, online service.
Next talk? I don't know.
Yeah, next time.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that more. I'm thinking, let's see, I think Pokemon Let's Go, that was announced for November, right?
Yeah.
I think Fire Emblem probably December, which leaves October, and that could be Animal Crossing, could be N64, it could be any number of new things we haven't even thought of.
I personally think Fire Emblem would be October, so it will be out before the holiday season.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking like early December, but that's also very possible.
Yeah.
So I think those are going to be the big games for the rest of the year, plus whatever surprises we get hit with. Okay, so those were our many, many Nintendo predictions. So let's wrap things up with some third-party predictions. What third-party games do you think might come to the Switch this E3?
All of them.
All of
every
them.
single one.
Ark, let's start with you.
I think maybe we might get a No More Heroes release date. You know, that's
Oh!
just me.
Oh, yeah.
That's just, you know, that's all I want. That's all I want.
That's all I want.
That's
Yeah,
all-
we've seen a lot of that game, but no release date yet, huh?
Yeah, they revealed that they're planning some sort of development with the Shovel Knight folks or something. I'm super excited for it. Ah, it's gonna be cool. Ah. What are you guys excited for? What's the big name?
Not sure.
Really,
No,
yes?
okay. Yeah, I think this year I have a pretty strong hunch that Epic Games will be releasing
God
a
damn
game
it,
on
no.
Switch this year. Who can say which
you stole
one?
mine!
Who
You
can
stole
say
mine!
which one? But I'm pretty sure they'll have one. No, Fortnite is going to come out on Switch. Of course,
Obviously.
It's gonna come out on Switch.
It's already been like told that they got an ESRB rating in South
Yeah,
Korea.
it's been like in giant quotes leaked, but like it didn't need to be. Because like of course it's going to come to the Switch no matter what. It's on iOS and everything else except for Switch and I think Android. So yeah, it's going to be
well,
on
they're
Switch.
working on Android, but and it's all cross-platform.
Yes, which is big.
So I can pull out my ColecoVision finally. Great.
Anybody have any opinions on Bayonetta 3?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Has it been announced in any way? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
It's
No
been
trailer,
teased.
but
No. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing they've shown is like a logo basically, and I think that if at any point in time they were planning on at least giving more credence to the fact that this is like going to come out at some point soon, this would be the best time to do it.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah, so that's really the only big like third party game that I can think of that I'm excited about.
All right. For me, I'm going to make a prediction that Ubisoft will announce a big Switch exclusive game this year. It could be like a new crossover like they did last year, or, and I don't think this would be exclusive, but I think they might announce that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will be coming to the Switch, possibly as a timed exclusive. I just think Ubisoft is going to do something big involving the Switch this year.
I don't know why this is also coming to mind, but how about Psychonauts 2? Maybe that'll also be announced for the Switch.
I think we will see Spyro.
Oh yeah, the trilogy.
But why would they not announce it for Switch until E3? I wonder.
I do wonder.
I don't know. It's just weird that they haven't yet.
Why would Nintendo not announce a Spyro game until E3? We may never know.
Never. But I also know another game that is very likely to be announced.
Yes.
Just Dance.
Well,
Tell me I'm wrong.
I won't.
Does anybody have anything they want to say about Just Dance? That's what I thought.
I dance the game because my sister loves it, and I get exhausted because goddamn those dances.
I think that, well, it's already been announced that The Last of Us Part 2 is being made for PlayStation 4. So my prediction is that The Last of Us Part 1 will be re-released and potentially on Nintendo Switch.
I don't. But it is a Sony exclusive.
Oh no, I'm thinking of a different game. I thought Last of Us was a Sony-owned property.
Yeah, me too. I have a hard time seeing it.
That's a bold prediction right there.
I think it's because just
Things
I
are
don't
changing,
see it
man.
Yeah, I know Spyro and Crash came to Nintendo. Well, we don't know Spyro yet, but it's basically confirmed. But I don't see any other major titles going over there.
Alright, I have a couple of small things. One, I was originally thinking that Square Enix would announce some big game for the Switch, but then I realized that we're still waiting on Octopath Traveler and possibly more Dragon Quest stuff, so I'm going to rescind that and instead say we're going to get a bunch of information on Yokai Watch 4. So that has been announced for Switch, but we don't know much about it, so I think we're going to learn, like, we're going to get a trailer and a title and some new, not mons, yokai. Well, and it's going to come out this year, maybe early next year. But no, it'll come out this year in Japan and then next year in the West.
No, you blew right past Squeenix, and for good reason. However, I don't think it takes too much effort on their part to just re-release or port an older game. And they've got quite a backlog of games that should be on a Nintendo console. So, you know, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Tomb Raider, all three, they should definitely get their foot in Nintendo Switch door for future games.
That's actually a good point. Like
Shin Megami Tensei! Right there, Spear.
Shoot. But you're right, though. I completely forgot Shin Megami Tensei, whichever one we're on now. That's also been announced for Switch, and we don't know much about it. Yeah, I think that's everything I had. Anyone else have any other predictions?
One last prediction from me. Everything that we just said that is true will be leaked before this episode airs.
Okay. And if it isn't, I want you to let us know in the comments or in the chat or wherever you can post. Just shout it out from the mountaintops what you think is going to be announced in Nintendo's conference this year at E3! Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening. Yeah.